foiling, Sara. For me, foiling feels like one of those things that people think they have to be a really sort of like high-end crafter. You know, they have to have been doing it for years in order to get great results. But we know that's not the case, don't we?
No, to be honest, if you've got the foil press machine, probably what you need is just some little bits and pieces to get you really pushed on that journey. And the ones that I've chosen in this kit, brilliant, right? I've chosen, one of the key ones is this star. Now, I use this so often because it can be used in so many different ways. Now, I've gone with the star. I've then also gone with, so you've got a bit of a break. You've got the star, you've got a lovely border, so that's the papillon border. And then also you've got that lovely, like, star burst. Do more of what makes you sparkle. So in this set, you've got the actual sentiment, you've got the burst, you've got a border, you've got a star, and you've got the foil that you need to get going, okay? Now, I thought we'd go a little bit more advanced and go straight onto acetate with this
Fabulous.
one here, okay? So straight onto a little bit of acetate to show you how what could be a really quite simple card in the background with the addition of that foil just takes it onto that next level, okay? And I thought if you felt confident enough to foil onto acetate, that's it, you're going to be foiling onto all sorts. So look what I've done is, I've just got myself a piece of the acetate, and I've cut a piece of the foil all ready to go, right? So I've got a piece of the foil, and you need your piece of foil that is at least as big as what this is. Now, I always like to cut my pieces of foil a little bit bigger, Joe, because I like to foil the reverse, and we'll do that straight after. Sure, I've got some black card. We'll foil it onto the black, okay? Now, I've got my foil press over here, so I'll see if you can like zoom out so you can see my control panel a little bit more. In the instruction manual, it tells you for different kind of colours, for different types of materials. So, for example, this is acetate, so I looked at acetate in the instruction booklet, and I had acetate, and I had a medium-sized die. So for that, I need 15 seconds. So can you see, you press the up button until we get to 15. Oh, I've gone a bit high. 15 there, right? And I'm going right in the middle. Once you're in the middle, then press the start button. Now, I like to put the lid on to keep the heat in while we're going. Now, with this foil, Joe, it's brilliant because it's counterintuitive. You want to have it so that you can see the foil colour. However, you always lie it face down because you want the reverse of this colour, oh, it's ready, to then transfer. So can you see it goes, reverse of the colour goes onto there, so that you always see the silver. Then, oh, do you know, I've got so much static going on today, Joe.
You're electric, aren't you?
I tell you what, I am electric. Now, I'm going to position that right in the middle then, and put you right in the middle. I am proper staticky today. Right, don't do what I do, folks. It said 15 seconds. I faffed on for an extra 10 seconds. Don't do that. Try and be ready and not staticky on time, because what might happen is, if you leave it too long, you can overfoil, right? So hopefully mine won't have done here. Let's lift it up and have a little look. So when I peel this off here, right, you'll see my foil has just transferred perfectly onto the acetate. I've been lucky that I haven't got any overfoiling. That can happen when you take too long with the foil, right? Now, what I've got is, I've got that there. I've then got the rest of the card ready, because this was going to be like a foil plan as opposed to do much. Can you see I've got the rest of this ready? That's going to go onto the back. So I'm just going to get these all ready, and I'm going to mount this first one onto the back. Now, here's how we do the front piece, because I've got this, and I want to put my acetate wrapped around this, right? So can you see, I'm going to have it, and I'm going to wrap this around. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to use, Joe, I'm going to get my score master out, and I'm going to score up the sides to just fit this around perfectly.
Awesome. A lot of you talking away. Dale's loving your spring headband, Sara, which is brilliant. What I'd really love to show you quickly are all of the different materials that you can foil onto. So let me show you. I've got two boards here, and this gives you an idea, because I think sometimes we just think about being able to foil onto just cardstock, but there isn't. Let me just run you through the different ones you've got then. So I've got let me start with this one, because this one's a bit more exciting. So what I've got on here is I've got glitter material, faux leather, cotton, denim, vellum, craft metal, ribbon. I've got acetate on here as well, and then this one I've got black card, Centura, craft card, pattern paper, mirror card, watercolour, black card with metallic inks, and glitter card as well. You can foil onto all of those awesome surfaces. The versatility you've got is second to none with this system, isn't it, Sara?
Oh, honestly, Joe, it's incredible. And that, you've seen me do it onto acetate. I could have just as easily started with paper, but if you can see how easy it is on acetate, you can see how easy it is on all surfaces. Now, what I'm going to do is, while we're on there, I'm going to keep that getting warmed up. This, now, can you see, I put the score lines and I just cut a little bit extra off here, Joe.
Awesome.
So that is going to stick onto there like that. I have also just done, I've just used the die cut piece from the centre and I've just die cut star in the middle there. So if I just take that, we'll go right in the middle with that. Now, honestly, the best thing you could use around here is your red liner tape. I'm going to use our tape pen just because I'm being a little bit speedy. Should be totally fine, right? But you might want to think about doing it with your tape pen if you take a little bit more time. Sorry, your red liner tape, if you've got a bit more time than what we've got on the show. But if you look at that, I mean, that's stuck pretty well there. You can see I've done it, depending on how big you want your bow to be, is how much wider you put to the score line for this. So I've done it not too far at the score line. I'm putting that to there. And then watch what I'm doing, Joe. I'm getting that positioned into place. I can't press the whole thing down because this has got the little bump underneath. So I'm pressing that bit down there, and that gives me that lovely kind of board front. Love that. And then that is going to go onto the front of the card. I'm going to use a little bit of the hot glue gun just for speed.
Anne's asking about trimming down acetate. Do you use the guillotine or the paper trimmer when you do that?
I use our guillotine.
Do you?
I find the guillotine is brilliant for that. So let's have a look. I've used that on there so that is going to, I'm not worried about that ever coming about, you know, if someone puts this on top of the mantelpiece, Joe, it's terrible if you put it on top of the mantelpiece and maybe onto acetate, the adhesive is going to, you know, give over a little bit of time. That will not happen if you use your glue gun. So there was a nice quick card that we put together in literally just a few seconds. But what I'm going to do is, I did say we would warm the rest of this up. So watch what happens if I lie the rest of that foil on there, right? I've just, while you were chatting there, Joe, I just pulled out a little bit of silver mirror cardstock. So I'm showing you how you can transfer. This is me transferring the waste. So if I set us to a minute and press the start button, so I'm counting down from a minute there, and I'm going to lie this onto here. Now here's the difference though, right? That, if you think, when we put it through last time, what we did have in, I'm just going to hold this in place to keep that flat. What we had in was we had the dye. We don't have the dye now, Joe. So what you need to do is you need to put some shims in to make up for not having the dye. So when we say shims, we just mean basically another couple of other pieces of cardstock. So just get a couple of pieces of card, and you want your magnetic here, right? So you're going to have your cardstock you're going to foil onto. We're going to put another couple of pieces of cardstock on there, then your magnetic shim, and then you're going to put the top plate on. So I've got all that sandwich ready, and all we're doing is heating the actual foil to transfer the foil over there, right? So that we've got all that ready, and then we're going to send it through. So 5 seconds left to go. If I wait for that 5-second countdown, as soon as we hear the beep, watch what I do. I pull this towards me. Don't lift it up, pull it towards me, and then offer it through. Now, Craig is our crafty guru when it comes to everything foiling. Have you seen what we've done there? I put too many shims in, decided it's too thick. So it sends it back, don't worry. All we'll say is, yep, I didn't need all of that cardstock in. So if we try and take a little bit of that out, now we'll send it through without. Now how good is that the machine actually sensed that I'd put too much in and paused it and sent it through. It's got sensors for that, Joe. It's also got heat sensors built into it, which means that even though we're putting through a heated plate, we can't damage any of the internal workings of the machine. It's all this clever stuff in the Gemini that you won't even realise it's doing, that you don't know that we'd pre-thought about that. You just know you're going to get a great result. And then watch, when I peel this off now that all I'm doing is peeling the backing off. Can you see we haven't had full transfer down here, Joe? That's because it needs that extra little bit of pressure from the shim. So what I would say is, whereas I'd put 3 shims in, right? If you maybe maybe it's just one shim or something. Try with one shim, but you want the mix of that heat and pressure to transfer the waste. But when you transfer the waste, it will transfer all of this waste, because what you just want to be left with is a clean sheet here and all the rest of the transfer. So at least, do you know, it's quite nice sometimes, as ridiculous as this sounds, when everything doesn't go 100% to plan, I can explain to you why it is. You know, you saw we had to cut an extra shim out. Just get that balance. It's nice to see how the machine, thank you, it's ready, how the machine adjusts for you, and also what you can do to play about with adjusting that machine. So,
awesome.
Very quick lesson on foil press there, Joe.
Loads of questions.
You can go back and watch one of the half a dozen foil press masterclasses that we've got as well if you want to learn more.
Awesome. Well, okay, lots of questions coming in. Do we have to use a foil stamp die to foil, or could we use one of our regular dies? Teresa would like to know.
Oh, we absolutely could. Would you like me to show you that?
I think so, yeah.
Come on, right. Okay, let's just go for it now. I mean, this is why we're here to take questions live. Do you know what I've got? I've got the happy birthday. Right. Let's die cut the happy birthday. Right. Let me show you two different ways you can work here.
Oh,
right?
I think I know what you're going to do, because the other one I love, Sarah. I think I know where we're going with this.
Right. Watch what we can do. We can either foil this, in fact, look, I can do it onto just white paper. If you foil the die, let me show you what happens, right? If I just get yourself a little piece here, right? Might need a slightly bigger piece of foil here, Joe. Yes.
Does your foiled acetate have to be heat-resistant acetate, or can it be regular acetate?
No, that was regular acetate
awesome.
I used there. Right, I would say this is quite small, so I'm going to go put this on, and I'm going to go about 8 seconds, right? So 8 seconds. I'm going to pop this into place. We're going to then pop this on here. So bear in mind, it won't die cut, Joe. It's just going to foil the outline.
Okay.
So you can see what it would look like foiled as an outline. And I'll be really honest, folks, it's not going to look overly impressive, right? Because this is one of two ways I'm going to teach you how to do this, okay? So that is going to give me, I'm so impatient, can't wait the 9 seconds. When I peel this off now, right, all it does is it gives me the outline of the foil balloons. Could
have its place in some projects, couldn't it?
And if I just show you, there we go, we can have a look on there. So there is the foil outline of the balloons, right? Your other option, Joe, is if I pop this into here, we'll start getting that warmed up. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to start warming my foil up on here. So you can start warming up there, nicely foil. I'm going to use this, and I'm going to pop this through my Gemini Mini, right? So I'm going to pre-die cut this first, right? So here we go. And I'm actually thinking ahead to another demo later, because I've seen somebody has commented and asked, how do you paper piece with the balloons?
Oh, fabulous.
And I hadn't planned, if you see this, this is my demo I've got for the balloons later. I hadn't planned to paper piece these balloons. However, wouldn't it be nice if they were copper foiled balloons, right? So now if I take this out, there's my die cut piece, right? So we can either foil this, or I'm thinking of foiling the balloons. So all I do now, Joe, is I pop these pieces that we have die cut onto here. So these are our paper pieced pieces that we're going to foil, so that when we come back to the edgeables later on in the show and do a little bit more, we're going to have pre-foiled designs, right? Now I do need the shim for this, so let's have a little look. I'm going to pop you onto there. I'm going to give you a minute's countdown. Reset 1 minute, perfect. I'm going to push me luck again. I'm going to try, let's just try with one shim this time. Now I do need to give that at least a good minute, Joe, because I want the foil nicely warmed through. So you give me a minute, I'll get myself tidied up, we'll come back, we'll do the foiling, we'll get ready, we'll do the edgeables later. Right, so watch this. So when I peel this off now, right, this is what I was after for you before, folks.
Look at that.
You want this totally clear, because we only want, look at all these have all been individually foiled and made into copper balloons.